Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by tall green mountains, there lived a young man named Marco. He was 24 years old, bright, curious, full of dreams, yet deep inside, he was never at peace. Every single day his mind was filled with thoughts, memories from the past, regrets he couldn't change, fears of the future he couldn't control. His mind was like a storm, restless and loud. He couldn't sleep well, couldn't focus, and sometimes he even forgot how to smile. One evening, while sitting beside the river, Marco overheard two travelers speaking about a wise old man who lived high up in the hills. They said this man was once a famous psychologist in the city, someone who had helped many people find peace of mind. But now, in his old age, he had left behind the noise of the city and chosen to live quietly among nature. People traveled long distances just to seek his advice. For the first time in a long while, Marco felt a spark of hope. He thought, maybe this old man can help me too. So the very next morning, he packed a small bag and began his long journey into the mountains, searching for peace. After days of walking through winding roads and rocky paths, Marco finally reached a quiet village nestled among the hills. The air was cool, and the sound of birds filled the valley. He asked a few locals where the wise man lived, and they pointed toward a small house covered in flowers and vines. As he approached, he saw the old man sitting peacefully on his porch. His eyes were closed, and there was a stillness around him, as if even the wind respected his silence. Marco bowed deeply and said softly, "Grandfather, my mind is restless. I think too much. I worry all the time. Please, help me find peace." The old man slowly opened his eyes and smiled. "So, you wish to find peace?" "Yes," said Marco. "I've been searching for it all my life." The old man nodded and stood up slowly. "Come with me," he said. He led Marco to a small open yard behind the house. There, he picked up a glass of water and filled it carefully all the way to the top. The water almost spilled over the rim. Then he handed it to Marco and said, "Take this glass. Walk from here to the far end of the village and come back. But remember, you must not spill even a single drop." Marco looked surprised, but he accepted the task. He held the glass with both hands and began to walk. The road was uneven and busy. Children laughed and ran around. Dogs barked in the distance. Shopkeepers called out to customers. But Marco's eyes never left the glass. Step by step, slowly and carefully, he walked. Every breath, every movement, focused only on that fragile line of water. He didn't notice the laughter of children or the sound of the wind. For that short time, the world around him disappeared. Only the glass mattered. Finally, he returned to the old man's porch. His hands trembled slightly, but the water had not spilled. "Grandfather," he said proudly, "I did it." Not a single drop was lost. The old man smiled. "That's good," he said. "But tell me, did you see the children playing on the side of the road?" "No," Marco replied. "Did you hear the dogs barking? Or feel the wind blowing?" Marco shook his head. "No, I was only focused on the glass." The old man's smile deepened. He said softly, "That, my son, is the secret. When your mind is fully in the present moment, not running to the past, not rushing to the future, there is no space for fear or confusion or sadness. When you carried that glass, you lived only in the now, and in that moment, your mind was completely quiet. That is peace." Marco stood silently. His eyes widened as the truth settled in his heart. All his life, he had been searching for peace outside, in people, in work, in travel. But peace was never out there. It was within him all along, hidden behind his restless thoughts. The sun was setting behind the mountains. The last rays of light touched the earth in gold. Birds flew back to their nests, and a soft breeze moved through the trees. Marco looked at the old man and whispered, "Grandfather, now I understand. The peace I was searching for was never lost. It was always here, inside me. I just forgot how to feel it." The old man smiled gently. "Remember," he said, "peace doesn't come when life gets easier. It comes when your mind learns to be still, when it lives fully in this moment." Marco bowed deeply. Gratitude filled his heart. As he began walking back home, the world looked different. The same path, the same sky, the same people, but everything seemed brighter, calmer, alive. He walked slowly, aware of every step, every sound, every breath. For the first time in years, he wasn't lost in his thoughts. He was simply here. And that's when Marco realized peace is not something you find, it's something you remember. If this story touched your heart, give it a like, share it with someone who needs calm, and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one. Until next time, stay well and stay peaceful.